Hey everyone, listen carefully because what I'm about to share isn't the usual quick tip video that disappears from your mind the moment it ends. This isn't temporary motivation that feels good for 10 minutes and then leaves your life exactly the same. This is something heavier, something real. Today we're talking about the quiet difference between a life that feels peaceful and a life that keeps hurting. We live in a world where almost everyone is hunting for a reaction. They throw insults because they want to control how you feel. They ignore you because they hope it will break something inside you. They spread lies just to watch you fall apart. And most of us, we react instantly. We explode with emotion. We shout. We lose our peace, our control, and our power in a single moment. The painful truth is that many people never notice how much of their own life they are slowly destroying with those reactions. One argument that ended a friendship. One angry message that killed a relationship. 1 second of rage that changed everything forever. So I'm asking you to slow down right now. Stay with me. If you truly understand what I'm about to tell you will become the kind of person who doesn't just survive the chaos. You will become calm, strong, focused, and peaceful, not because the world suddenly becomes easy, but because you stop letting the world control your mind. This is for anyone who is tired of being broken by their own emotions. This is for the people ready to take their power back. And I promise you this, if you stay until the end, you will discover a kind of strength most people never learn in their entire lifetime. This isn't only motivation. Every simple word also builds clearer, stronger English. It's not just about speaking better, it's about thinking better. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Reacting means they control you. When someone can press one button and make you angry, when one sentence can change your entire mood, when their insult, their silence, or their opinion can shake you, you are no longer in charge of your life. You are being controlled like a puppet, and the strings are your own emotions. People believe that reacting fast shows strength, but reacting fast doesn't make you powerful. It makes you easy to manipulate. Every time you answer without thinking, you hand over something precious. Your peace, your energy, your power. Think about it. How many moments in your life were ruined because you reacted too quickly? How many times did you scream at someone you loved and later wished you could take the words back? How many angry replies did you send and then desperately want to unsend? That is emotional slavery. You may not wear chains on your wrists, but the world around you is still controlling your feelings. And the worst part is, most of us never even notice. There was once a young man who worked hard in an office. He stayed late, followed every rule, and quietly built a solid reputation. One day during a team meeting, his manager criticized him in front of everyone. The criticism wasn't fair. It wasn't even true. In that moment, the young man exploded. He shouted. He argued. He tried to defend himself with fire in his voice. The whole room went silent. The air became heavy. Later, the manager simply walked away calmly. But that young man, from that day, he was known as the emotional guy. Not the hardworking one, not the intelligent one. One single reaction destroyed the image he had carefully built for years. He didn't win. He lost because he allowed someone else to decide how he would respond. The solution is simple but powerful. The 5-second rule. Strong people pause. Next time someone disrespects you, lies to you, yells at you, ignores you, or insults you, don't speak. Don't move, don't react, just breathe, inhale, exhale. 5 full seconds. In those 5 seconds, you take back the one thing no one else should ever own: your control. Something almost magical happens when you pause. The emotion begins to fade. The fire starts to cool. Your mind begins to think instead of burn. You can still answer if you need to, but now your words will be strong instead of foolish, and your actions will be wise instead of emotional. This one small habit can change your relationships, your work, your family, arguments, everything. When you refuse to react, you are not weak. You are powerful. You are untouchable. You are free. Part 2, Lesson 2. Most reactions become regrets. There are moments we wish we could erase. One message, one word, one shout, one decision made in anger or fear without thinking. Those moments stay with us for years. You don't carry the insult they threw at you. You carry the way you reacted. You don't carry the failure. You carry how you broke down when it happened. You don't carry the problem. You carry your emotional response to it. People like to say that reacting quickly means they are being real and honest. But the truth is, fast reactions come from pain, not from power. Reacting is what we do when we are trying to survive, not when we are trying to grow. We scream when we feel small. We blame when we feel weak. We fight when we feel hurt. And when the moment is over, what remains? Guilt, shame, regret. We whisper to ourselves, "I should have stayed quiet. I should have taken a breath. I should have let it go." But by then it is too late. Reactions cannot be deleted. Words do not disappear. Actions stay. People remember. How many people have you pushed away because you reacted too fast? How many arguments could have been avoided? How many relationships might still be alive if you had simply paused? How many peaceful days did you destroy just because you let one bad moment control you? And the most painful truth of all, sometimes you only understand what you lost when it is already too late to fix it. There was a woman who loved her younger sister deeply. They were close, almost like best friends. One day at a family gathering, the sister made a sarcastic comment about something sensitive, something that touched an old wound. In that instant, the woman exploded. She shouted in front of everyone. She said words she could never take back, words that weren't even true, words filled with old pain and buried emotions. The family stood in silence. The sister left. Days passed, weeks passed. The relationship never returned. Years later, that woman would look at an old photo of the two of them and cry, not because of what her sister had said, but because of how she herself had reacted. One moment, one reaction. A lifetime of quiet regret. The solution is to train yourself to respond instead of react. This is a mindset, a muscle, a daily practice. When something painful happens, quietly say this sentence in your mind. This emotion is real, but this reaction is a choice. Yes, you feel hurt. Yes, it is unfair. Yes, you want to scream. But don't pause, close your mouth, still your body. Let the emotion rise, but do not move. Feel the anger, the sadness, the fear, only in silence. Then ask yourself, am I reacting to this moment or to something old that still lives inside me? Wait 10 minutes, or an hour, or even a day. Only then respond with truth, with calm, with real power. This one habit can save relationships. It can protect your peace. It can protect your future. Reacting may feel strong in the moment, but peace is stronger, and peace never creates regret. Part 3, Lesson 3. Silence is a superpower. The world loves noise. People talk constantly, argue, explain, justify, try to prove they are right, try to win, try to look strong. But here is a truth you rarely hear. The strongest people are not the loudest. They are the quiet ones who do not need to speak to prove anything. Silence is often misunderstood. People think silence means weakness, that if you stay quiet you must be scared, that if you walk away you must be afraid. The opposite is true. It takes more strength to remain calm than to shout. It takes more wisdom to walk away than to keep arguing. It takes more power to say nothing when every part of you wants to fight. Silence is control. Silence is focus. Silence is dignity. When you stay silent, people cannot read your thoughts. They do not know your next move. They cannot tell if they have hurt you or if you have already won. That mystery itself is power. There was a man who was publicly humiliated on social media by a former friend. Fake stories, twisted screenshots, pure character assassination. Everyone expected him to fight back. They waited for him to post his side, to go live, to reply, but he said nothing. People called him weak, a coward, even guilty. Still, he stayed silent. 6 months later, the truth came out. The friend who had lied was exposed by someone else. Suddenly, the man's silence was seen as dignity, class, and quiet strength. While others had been screaming, he had been winning in silence. Use silence as a weapon, not as weakness. You do not need to answer every insult. You do not need to explain yourself to people who have already decided what they believe. You do not need to post, message, defend, or fight for your dignity every single time. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing and let your silence speak louder than any words ever could. In conflict, simply say, "I understand," and walk away. Do not argue. Let their own words burn them. In drama, do not join the noise. Step back and let the truth rise by itself. In moments of disrespect, do not shout, do not cry, do not explain. Look them in the eyes and say nothing. People will notice. And when they do, you win not by reacting but by rising above. Part 4. Lesson 4. Not everything deserves your energy. One of the greatest mistakes you can make is trying to fight every battle, defend yourself in every argument, prove your worth to every critic, and respond to every message, every insult, every misunderstanding. It may look brave, but in reality it slowly destroys your energy, your peace, your focus, and your future. Not everything is worth your time. Not everyone deserves a reaction from you. Not every problem needs your emotional investment. You have limited energy each day. Every time you give it to the wrong person or the wrong situation, you have less left for the things that truly matter. Give your energy to gossip, and you lose energy for your goals. Give it to hate, and you lose energy for love. Give it to whatever drains you, and then wonder why you feel empty. Some people want your reaction simply because it feeds their ego to see you disturbed, broken, or triggered. They do not want peace. They want drama. And if you keep stepping into their world, you will never build your own. There was a bright, disciplined college student who stayed up late studying and dreamed big. One day someone spread lies that she had cheated on a test. Her name was whispered. People looked at her differently. Some stopped talking to her. She became angry. She wrote long posts online. She tried to explain herself to everyone. She cried at night wondering why no one believed the truth. Weeks passed. She lost focus. She stopped studying. She stopped dreaming. She became bitter, all because she poured her energy into something she should have simply walked away from. She could have stayed silent and let her actions speak. Instead, she gave her energy to people who never deserved it. Years later, she said something heartbreaking. "I didn't lose because of what they said. I lost because I tried to fix what didn't matter." Protect your energy like it is gold. Create a quiet list in your mind of what truly deserves your energy today. If something is not on that list, walk away. You are not here to win every argument. You are here to win your life. Stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. If they have already judged you, your words will change nothing. Respond only where growth is possible. If a conversation will not help you rise, it is a trap. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. You do not have to show up for every fight you are invited to. Peace is not found in winning every battle. Peace is found in knowing which battles are not worth fighting at all. Part 5. Lesson 5. The one who stays calm wins. The world respects people who remain calm when everything is falling apart. Calm people are trusted. Calm people are respected. Calm people make better decisions, build better relationships, and live stronger lives. When you stay calm, you keep your power. When you stay calm, you see clearly. When you stay calm, you become the quiet leader in every room, even if you say nothing. Most people live like storms. They shout panic, cry blame, react, lose control, and then wonder why nothing works. But the person who stays calm becomes the opposite of the storm, the stillness that slowly makes the storm lose its power. Calmness does not mean you feel no pain. It means you have learned to hold pain with strength instead of panic. There was once a man riding a crowded train. Suddenly another man entered the compartment, drunk, angry, pushing people, shouting wildly. Everyone became tense. Some shouted back, some moved away, some started recording. But one old man remained completely still, calm, unshaken. The angry man approached him, ready to fight. The old man looked into his eyes and said gently, "Whatever happened to you today, I'm sorry it brought you this far." The drunk man stopped. His fists fell. His eyes softened. He sat down and began to cry. The entire train fell silent. One calm man had changed the energy of the whole space. He did not react. He did not fight. He simply understood something others did not. This is not about me. That is what calm people know. Not every storm outside has to become a storm inside. Build the discipline of calmness. Calmness is not natural. You have to train for it the way a warrior trains for battle. Breathe deeply and often. Breathing is not just a habit, it is a weapon. When your body is calm, your mind listens. Observe before you speak. Let people show who they are. Let situations unfold. Then respond with strategy, not emotion. Detach emotionally before you act. Ask yourself, am I acting from truth or from pain? If it is pain, wait. If it is truth, proceed. Practice calmness in the small things: spilled coffee, a delayed train, a rude message. These are your training sessions. The more you practice in small storms, the more ready you will be when life throws the big ones. Anyone can scream. Anyone can cry. Anyone can panic. But the one who can sit in the fire and still see clearly, still speak gently, still move wisely, that person wins. Life always follows the calm mind, not the loud one. Part 6. Lesson 6. Reaction is habit. Response is power. Most people do not realize this. They are not reacting because they are angry. They are reacting because they have always reacted. Reacting has become automatic. It is emotional. It is no longer a choice. And when something becomes a habit, you stop questioning it. You simply do it. Someone disrespects you, you fight back. Someone ignores you, you cry. Someone cuts you off in traffic, you scream. You never pause to ask, do I actually need to react to this? You just react because that is what you have always done. Here is the powerful truth. Reaction is automatic. Response is intentional. Only one of them leads to peace, success, respect, and real power. A reaction is fast, emotional, uncontrolled. It comes from a wounded place inside you. A response is calm, clear, conscious. It comes from a powerful place inside you. The person who reacts is like a volcano, loud, wild, destructive. The person who responds is like the ocean, deep, steady, untouchable. Ask yourself today, are you reacting like a machine or are you responding like a master? Those who respond rule their lives. Those who react are ruled by their emotions. There was once a young man who worked as a waiter in a busy restaurant. He was kind, focused, and always respectful. One evening, a rich customer walked in rude, entitled. He snapped his fingers, barked orders, and when his food was delayed, he shouted across the room, "Are you deaf, stupid, or just lazy?" The entire restaurant froze. Everyone expected the young waiter to fight back, to react, to defend himself. But he didn't. He looked at the man, smiled gently, and said with calm, steady eyes, "Sir, I'm doing my best. If that's not enough for you today, I understand, but I'll continue to serve you with respect because that's who I am." The room went silent. The customer who had entered looking powerful suddenly looked small. The waiter who seemed powerless now stood tall. The manager watched the whole thing and offered the young man a promotion that same night. Why? Because he had learned what most people never do. Reaction is instinct. Response is wisdom. We react when we are unaware of our wounds. If you were always ignored as a child, you may overreact to being ignored now. If you were once humiliated, you may overreact to any small disrespect. If you were once abandoned, you may overreact to distance in a relationship. Reacting is often not about the person in front of you. It is about the pain inside you that was never healed. Until you understand that, you will keep reacting to things that do not deserve your pain and keep giving your peace to situations that do not deserve your attention. You can break the habit. You can reprogram your mind. Pause before everything, even if it is just one breath. That single breath breaks the automatic chain and creates space, and space is where power lies. Ask yourself one question: is this about now or about something old? Many times the emotion you feel is not about the present moment. It is a memory, a wound, a trigger. Awareness is how you take control back. Respond with truth, not emotion. Truth is strong. Emotion is unstable. Speak only when your truth is clear and your heart is calm. Practice response every day, even in the small things. Train yourself when someone cuts you off in traffic. Train yourself when a friend forgets to reply. Train yourself when life feels unfair. Every single moment is practice. Every breath is a chance to grow stronger. The world does not need more people who explode at every spark. It needs more people who choose to respond. Because the ones who stay calm, the ones who choose awareness over anger, the ones who think before they speak and feel before they act, those are the ones who rise. Those are the ones who lead. Those are the ones remembered not for the noise they made, but for the quiet grace they carried. And now the question is yours alone. Will you keep reacting from the pain of your past, or will you begin responding from the strength of your future? Lesson 7. If you want peace, let go of ego. There is a reason so many people suffer quietly. It is not always the pain itself. It is not always fear. It is not even always other people. Most of the time it is ego, that silent, invisible voice inside that whispers, "They should have treated me better. I need to prove I was right. I deserve more respect. They don't see my value and that hurts. I can't let them win." And so you react. You fight. You explain. Not because it is truly necessary, but because your ego is burning for attention. What most people never realize is that ego is not power. Ego is a prison. It is the reason you stay stuck, angry, bitter, and unfree. The ego constantly wants to be seen, loved, admired, respected, and praised. But when the world refuses to give those things, and it often will, the ego panics. And when the ego panics, you react. You shout in the middle of an argument because your ego screams, "They can't talk to me like that." You reply to a hateful comment because your ego insists. "They don't know who I am." You explain your side in every fight because your ego demands, "I must defend myself." Here is the truth almost no one wants to hear. You do not need to defend what is already real. You do not need to prove what already exists. You do not need to be loud to be right. The moment you drop the ego, you rise. Because the ego lives in pain, but your deeper self lives in peace. There was a man who spent years pouring everything into one company: his time, his health, his loyalty. One day, without warning, the company simply replaced him. No apology, no thank you, nothing. Rage filled him. His ego roared, "How could they do this to me? Don't they know who I am? I gave them everything." He wanted to go public, expose them, take revenge. But before he acted, he spoke to his grandmother, a woman who had lived through wars, betrayals, and poverty, yet still carried a quiet peace in her eyes. She looked at him and said gently, "My child, listen carefully. You do not heal by proving others wrong. You heal by proving to yourself that their actions will not control your future." Those words changed everything. He did not fight. He did not attack. He simply walked away in silence, with dignity and clarity. 6 months later, he began building his own company, quietly and consistently. Years later, he stood more successful than the very people who had once discarded him. He had let go of ego and held tightly to peace. Ego makes you react because it is loud. It cannot accept disrespect. It cannot tolerate rejection. It cannot survive silence. So every time someone challenges your worth, forgets your value, or walks away without explanation, the ego explodes. But here is the danger. Ego wants revenge. Your deeper self wants freedom. If you keep choosing ego, you will keep losing peace. You will react to every comment. You will argue with every fool. You will destroy relationships just to win temporary battles. And when those battles end, you will be left alone with your ego and without your peace. The solution is clear. Kill the ego and choose peace every single time. You cannot master your emotions until you confront your ego. The moment you feel the urge to prove, fight, attack, or explain, pause. Ask yourself quietly, is this my deeper self speaking, or is this my ego screaming? Let people be wrong about you. It is hard, but it is powerful. Not everyone deserves access to your truth. Let them misunderstand you. Let them talk. You do not owe everyone a version of yourself that makes them comfortable. Stop fighting to be right. The desperate need to be right is often what keeps us trapped in the wrong energy. Ask yourself, what matters more, being right or being at peace? Choose silence in the places where ego wants to scream. The next time someone disrespects you and you feel the fire rising, breathe, smile, walk away. Not because you are weak, but because you are no longer ruled by something as fragile as ego. Remember, your worth is not a debate. You do not need to react to prove it. You do not need to speak to protect it. You simply need to live it, with calmness, with clarity, and with quiet confidence. When you finally let go of ego, something beautiful happens. You stop chasing validation. You stop reacting to every noise. You stop trying to prove your worth. And for the first time, you feel light. You feel free. You feel unshakable. Because true peace does not live in the loud. It lives in the still, in the calm, in the quiet heart that no longer needs to win every argument. That is the kind of strength most people never find. But you just did. Now choose it, not once, not twice, but every single day. Because the less you need to react, the more real power you hold. And the less ego you carry, the more lasting peace you will feel. Now you know the truth. You do not need to react to everything. You do not need to fight every battle. You do not need to prove your worth to people who never saw it in the first place. You do not need to carry the noise, the drama, or the pain just because the world throws it at you. You are more than your reactions. You are more than your anger. You are more than the storms that come and go. You are calm. You are deep. You are steady. And from this moment you are free. May you never lose your peace again. Not for anything, not for anyone. May your silence become your strength. May your calmness become your confidence. May your wisdom become the way you live. And whenever the world tries to pull you into chaos, pause, breathe. Remember who you are. You do not belong in the noise. You were born for something greater, peace, purpose, and quiet power. So stay still, stay true, and keep rising silently. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can ever say is nothing at all. Thank you for staying with me until the end. I'm truly proud of you. From my heart to yours, may you be blessed with strength, with deep peace, and with a life that no reaction can ever destroy. Take care of your mind. Protect your soul. And never forget, you are not weak for staying calm. You are powerful beyond words. Until next time on Learn English with Mephiz, stay strong, stay silent, stay free.